It's Sunday, February 12th, 2023. A few things I want to talk about today. I know that the Super Bowl is today, Sunday, February 12th. I certainly will not be watching it. I don't hold it against anybody that does. Have a great time, enjoy. Me personally, I cannot support an organization that turned its back on the military, the police, and basically the good people of America. So the NFL will never get a penny of my money. It will never get a second of my time. I don't support it. I cannot support an organization like that. Again, I don't hold it against anybody that enjoys watching football or is taking some time today in the festivities. Have a great time and enjoy it. But I'm going to take this time today to put this video up and just talk about a few things. As I make this video, we have just shot down another object, this in northern Michigan over Lake Huron. Northern Michigan, just shot down in the last hour. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What in the world is going on? Now, it seems daily we're shooting things out of the sky. They're not saying where this is from. I think we have a pretty good idea where this one came from also. But it is really showing major deficiencies in our defense, in our leadership, our military, our technology. And you have to ask yourself, how safe are we here when we have breaches happening now every day? And they said that these objects, balloons, whatever, have been flying over the last few years and that we have not been detecting them until recently. These things could carry in anything, okay? And to me, it's very, very dangerous. It needs to be dealt with. And we're finding out that China is not our friend. But again, another object shot down today. It just seems like every day now we have things flying around in our skies. And there's reports that there's another object out in Montana flying around right now. I don't know how reliable that source is, but that's been on some of the channels today. That's been reported. So we'll see if there's yet another object flying around over U.S. airspace. So it doesn't make me feel too safe, I'll tell you that. And we brag about our technology, we brag about our military, we brag about that we're the leader in defense and military and technology and whatnot, yet we have balloons and objects flying into our airspace every day now, doing God knows what. So be aware of what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure that you are preparing for any type of emergency, whether it's man-made or a natural disaster. You need to be preparing. Manchester Boston Airport, complete security threat sweep, passengers allowed to re-enter secure area. This happened yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Again, what is going on? Is this a glitch? Is this some type of cyber attack? Now we have objects, we have balloons flying all over the skies, airports being shut down. Something's really happening out there, ladies and gentlemen. I think that, you know, we have a lot of enemies out there, and I think that they are beginning to really test us and see our vulnerabilities. And they're finding out that we're not as strong as we thought we were. The hedge, $16 billion, over 50 million Americans will bet on the Super Bowl. That's a 61% increase of people betting compared to a year ago, double in total wages compared to a year ago. Now, this, when you read this, and yet we look at the statistics that half this country doesn't even have $400 saved up, 70% of this country living paycheck to paycheck, and a majority of this country is just not prepared for an economic downturn, yet people are gambling money. And many of these people are gambling money they don't even have. How many of these people are going to the Super Bowl on a credit card at 19, 20, 25% interest? You know, I watched some of the news yesterday, and they were interviewing some of the people that are going to the Super Bowl, and you know, $5,000 minimum ticket price, airfare through the roof. A Motel 6 is nearly $700 for the Super Bowl. And yet people are paying these prices. And you really wonder, how many of these, I'm sure that there's a good number of people there that can afford this, no problem. But there's also a very good number of people who cannot afford this, who are using credit cards, who are using their entire savings to do this. And they are making a very, very huge mistake here. And again, it just shows the immaturity of the average American and how they manage money, and why so many people are broke, why so many people have no assets, why people have no net worth, why people have no emergency reserves put away, and they have no plan because they cannot control themselves. And this is another prime example of it. Here's another one coming from The Hedge. Millions of Americans face hunger cliff. This, again, another concerning article. Here we are on Sunday, February 12th, but more than 30 million Americans face a hunger cliff. 32 states are set to slash food stamp benefits beginning in March. Right here in the state of California, we have 5.1 million people on food stamps. Texas has 3.6 million. SNAP exploded in 2022 with a budget of $119.5 billion. Now with this cut, the average person that gets this benefit is going to be cut $82 a month. And that's going to be a substantial amount of money for these people. And let's face it, some of these people don't need it, but a lot of these people do need it. And I understand that. A lot of these people do need help. And an $82 a month cut is going to be drastic, especially with the amount of inflation we've seen in food prices. And I believe we're going to see food continue to go up. So what are these people going to do? You know, they say that this country is 9 meals away from mass chaos. And when people are losing $82 a month, that may not seem like a lot to a lot of people. But when you're on government subsidy, when you don't have very much money, $82 a month is huge, especially with the amount of inflation that we're seeing right now. And so these people are going to be in big, big trouble. And again, when people get hungry, this is when the problems really begin. You know, we haven't really seen problems in this country because, you know, government subsidies and SNAP and WIC and EBT and whatnot. I think we have 42 million people total in food stamps, on food stamps in this country. When people get hungry, we're going to begin to see real big trouble. And remember, people are relying on a bankrupt government, a bankrupt system to take care of them. That is a bad strategy, ladies and gentlemen. I would do anything to pick up a side hustle and start putting some capital away. Don't rely on a bankrupt system to take care of you or save you, because you don't know what this is going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But it's going to look, I think, much worse for a majority of this country. Almost half of public school students are performing below grade level in at least one subject. We used to brag that we had the best school system, the #1 educational system in the entire planet. We're not even near the top 10 at this point, and we are falling drastically. This from the Free Press. Why 65% of students, fourth grade students, can barely read. 65% of U.S. fourth graders can barely read. That on the press today. Here's one from CNBC. Fast food reigns supreme as inflation weighs on pricier restaurants. Remember the casual diners, the mom and poppers? How many of them have disappeared? I've seen so many gone. And right now, just places that I might visit when I'm in Orange County, a mom and pop place, they're struggling. I'll walk in, talk to them, and they are struggling. They are day to day, basically. And this is so sad to see that we're going to be relying now on Taco Bells and McDonald's and Jack in the Box and the Burger Kings. That's what people are now forced to eat unless they eat at home. And I know a lot of people will say, well, just eat at home. It's not always that easy. When people are traveling, maybe they're working, they have an erratic, unpredictable schedule, maybe they just don't want to cook at home that day. They just, at some point, going to the grocery store is even more expensive than maybe eating at McDonald's. And yes, eating at McDonald's is probably dangerous for your health. We're all guilty of it every now and then. Maybe I'm guilty of it every once in a while, ladies and gentlemen. I admit I will hit a McDonald's if I'm starving, if I'm out on the road. you know, I fall into that. But so I'm not perfect. Don't judge me. But every once in a while, I do like fast food. I will admit it. I will every once in a while have some fast food. I'm trying to clean it up. I'm trying to eat better. But it says here in the article, even Chipotle, a more quality fast food type restaurant, is struggling. So the mama poppers, the casual diners, the more upscale restaurants, they are struggling, while the fast food, the garbage food, the processed food, the McDonald's, Taco Bells, Jack in the Boxes, etc., those places are all doing well because people don't have the money and they're going to be forced to eat garbage food. So think about the price we're paying here with inflation, with a collapsing economy. You don't have the choices that you once did to get better food because now it's getting so expensive. It's forcing people to eat lower quality food. And even at the grocery store, when you go to the grocery store, and look, I eat a majority of my food at home. Every breakfast I eat is at home. Typically every dinner is at home. I try to eat lunch, but if I'm out, if I'm busy, if I'm working, if I'm traveling, lunch is a difficult one. So, but again, I do try to eat as healthy as I can. I'm trying to do a better job of that. But so many of these places are just gone. But the grocery stores, as I was saying a second ago, the grocery stores, the quality of food, even at the grocery stores, like if you get lettuce, what is going on with lettuce? The quality of lettuce, terrible. A lot of the fruits and vegetables, terrible. And you don't know where your meat is coming from. We are now, I believe, importing $6 billion or pounds, I don't remember what it was, $6 billion or 6 billion pounds of meat from foreign countries. That's unacceptable in my opinion. But if you know what that number is, please comment down below. 43% of rural hospitals are in the red. This on the Hedge today. There have been 143 rural hospital closures in the past 13 years, and another 453 are vulnerable for closure. But we keep sending money all over the world. How do you feel about that? So we have hospitals right here in America closing, yet we are sending hundreds of billions of dollars all over the world. We have people, we have vets, we have good Americans sleeping on sidewalks and streets right here in America, yet we're sending money all over the world. I just cannot figure it out. It just angers me, really. Another one from the Hedge. Ugliness awaits many boomers nearing retirement. This is what happens to people who have been encouraged to spend and incur massive amounts of debt and not save money. So, you know, maybe some of the people going to the Super Bowl, spending $5,000 a ticket and $700 at a Motel 6. People who, again, spend, incurring massive amounts of debt, not saving. At some point, people get older, they retire, and people are realizing they're not going to be able to retire. People are now retiring with little savings and dependent on a government that is already massively in debt, a government that is bankrupt. And I think it's a bad idea to be dependent on a government or a system that is bankrupt, because you know how this all ends. Think about you're depending on a system to care for you that is broke. It's broke. $33 trillion in debt. We have unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. These numbers add up to about $170 trillion. You are dependent on a system that is broken, bankrupt, and insolvent. So protect your wealth if you have any, ladies and gentlemen. Protect your savings. Maybe you don't go to a Super Bowl game and spend $5,000 on a ticket. Look, if you make, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you don't have debt, you want to do something like that, great. But there's a lot of people out there that don't make a lot of money, that took everything that they have or took a credit card and maxed it out to go to a game. And these people are just getting themselves deeper and deeper into debt while the economy collapses and as we head into the worst economic collapse the world has ever seen. I'm going to say right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're in a full-blown depression. I believe we are past the point of a recession. I believe now we are looking at a depression. Here's an article on CNBC. Here's where the jobs will be during the rolling recessions. It says now, so we have transitory, we have soft landing, we have recession, no recession. Now we have rolling recessions. It just goes on and on with all these words. Most of the jobs are in the service sector, and we look at accommodations, hotels, restaurants, and bars. At some point, when we begin to see the numbers begin to fall in the service sector, that's when you know this whole thing is over. You know, at some point, people who right now can travel, can afford to go to the bars, can afford to go to the hotels and travel a little bit. When those people begin to not be able to spend money, when those people begin to pull back and we begin to see less and less jobs available in the service sector, that's when you know we're going to see very, very big trouble. When we begin to see layoffs in the service sector pick up, that's going to be a huge red flag. Here's another one. Ominous sign. Internet searches for cancel golf membership jumps. This is another sign that people are maxed out. And right here, where I'm making this video, Coachella Valley, we have 120 golf courses. Now, I don't know how many of those are private that require a membership, but we have quite a few. We have quite a few private courses out here that rely on memberships. And I would imagine that they are seeing a huge uptick in cancellations. So I'm going to wrap it up right there. But this last article, again, it's another indicator of where we're at. Ominous sign. Internet searches for cancel golf membership jumps. So people are going to be canceling, I think, a lot of other memberships. I know gym memberships are way down. My gym, way down. People have canceled memberships at a lot of the gyms out here, and I'm sure the same is happening at the golf courses. People are cutting it out. Yet people will spend $5,000 to go to the Super Bowl, but at the same time, people are cutting out memberships at the gym. They're cutting out the golf memberships. And sooner or later, the people who are just delusional and spending money hand over fist because they have credit cards, or they have some of that equity line that they pulled out of their home available, sitting in the bank, and they're using that and they're going through that, or they're going through savings, and they just figure next month it'll pick up, 2 months, 3 months, a few months things will pick up, it'll be fine. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. These people are digging a deeper and deeper grave for themselves. So be very careful out there. And my advice today is protect your money. Protect your money. And there's different ways you can do it. One way to protect your money is don't go out there and blow it. Don't buy dumb stuff. Don't buy things you don't need. Buy essentials. Buy hard assets like gold and silver. Put it away. Don't touch it. Don't think about it. But I think one of the best things we can do this weekend, my advice, don't buy dumb stuff. Don't go to sporting events for $5,000. Don't buy a car that you don't need. Don't buy something that you're going to be upside down in. Don't buy something that if you lose your job, the repo man's going to come and take it, or you're going to be foreclosed on, etc. So be careful what you're spending your money on. Protect your money. Protect your wealth. And I would be very defensive right now because we are in uncharted waters. Have a great Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. Please share this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. And the best way to support it is to subscribe. God bless.